What's up? I am Runs with Alpacas, and I have another deck profile. This one is for a number 86 Rhongo turbo build. However, the engine I'm utilizing to produce the number 86 is Ninjas. The reason I like Ninjas over other builds of number 86 turbo decks is not because they're more consistent. As a matter of fact, they're probably less consistent than, say, Dark Warrior or the Neo Space Connector type builds. But I like Ninjas because they give you more easy access to the Rank 4 toolbox, which I think is useful for outgrinding your opponent in certain types of matchups. Without further ado, I'll get right into it. To start off, I play 3 copies of Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo. Hanzo is one of the OG ninja monsters. When he's normal summoned, you search for a ninjutsu art card, and when he's special summoned or flip summoned, you search for another ninja monster. Hanzo comes from a time where hard once per turns were not a thing, and we're going to abuse that fact in this deck. So you're going to use Hanzo's effect 2, 3, maybe 4 times a turn to facilitate the full combo, get a number 86 out on the field. Next, I'm playing 3 copies of Upstart Golden Ninja. This works just the same as Summoner Monk does, however you discard a trap and you summon a level 4 ninja directly from your deck. So Upstart Golden will get you to your Hanzo, which will search for a ninja, then you can go into your Isolde and combo off from there. All you need in your hand to make a full number 86 is Upstart Golden Ninja, and then either 2 trap cards or a trap card and any other monster, and you have your full number 86 with 4 materials, which is enough that your opponent cannot summon. Next, I'm playing 3 copies of Twilight Ninja Jogan. This is your main low scale in the deck. There is another pendulum monster I play that is a 2 scale, but most likely you're going to set this in your left pendulum scale. The reason I play 3 copies of this card is that if you have a ninjutsu art card in your hand, you can special summon this for free. So in that sense, it's just another extender, and it's really useful to have multiple copies of Jogan, both as an extender and as a pendulum scale. Next, I'm playing 2 copies of Twilight Ninja Kagan. I only play 2 copies of Kagan, even though it's a normal summon. It's my only high scale in the deck, and I really only want to use this in the pendulum scales. So I play 2 in case my opponent gets rid of 1, that I have the second one to continue to be able to pendulum summon. It does restrict you to being only able to pendulum summon with ninjas, but that's not a problem. We're going to have plenty of ninjas in our hand to pendulum summon out. The last ninja monster I play is one Twilight Ninja Getsuga, the Shogun. So the way this guy works is if he's in attack position, you can change him to defense, and you summon 2 ninjas from your graveyard. So if you have 2 Hanzos in your graveyard, this is going to revive them, and you get 2 more searches from the Hanzos. So this is the last piece you need to get enough level 4s on board to go into your number 86. So you only play 1 of this, it's easily searchable, and seeing multiples is never really a good thing. You only need the 1 copy. If your opponent hasn't stopped you by the time that you make this, they're not going to stop this card. So you really only need 1 copy. Next, I'm playing 2 copies of Photon Thrasher, just as a generic warrior extender, and level 4 specifically. I only play 2 because 3 of them can really clog, considering you have to have no monsters to special summon it. And I really don't want to have to search this with something like Rhoda, so I want to maximize my potential of seeing at least 1 in my hand and not see multiples. So 2 Photon Thrasher. Next, I play 1 copy of Spiral Super Agent. This is more of a pseudo extender because it has the potential to special summon itself. If it doesn't, you can just normal summon it. But I like 1 Super Agent. You can bring it out with cards like Summon Sorceress just to have as a material under your number 86. So 1 copy of this doesn't hurt the deck too much. And lastly, I play 2 copies of Dragodius. Dragodius has 2 purposes. It's another low scale for the deck, and it's also just another level 4 warrior that you can summon directly from the deck with the field spell Empowerment. So 2 copies of Dragodius. Again, not a card you want to see, but if you do see it, it's not too bad because you can normal summon it. That's it for the monsters. For spells, I'm playing 2 copies of Ninjutsu Art Notebook. This is the best ninjutsu art card in the deck. When you activate this, it does nothing, but on the field, you can discard a ninja and set a ninjutsu art card directly from the deck. And the main card you're going to want to set off of that is Ninjutsu Art of Alchemy. When you activate this card, you destroy all your face-up ninjutsu art cards, and you draw 2 cards. So this is a searchable Pot of Greed engine in the deck, because Hanzo can search for Notebook. The Link monster can also search for Notebook or for Alchemy. And if you have Hanzo and any of these in your hand, then you're just completing the circuit there. So this is really a good draw engine for the deck. And these also help you summon out your Jogan if you need to extend with that. Next, I'm playing 2 copies of Empowerment and 2 copies of Terraforming to search it. So Empowerment, you discard a card and you summon an Empowered Warrior monster from your deck. So this gets out your Dragodius, so it gets you a free level 4. I like 2 copies of Empowerment because it's not completely necessary for any sort of combo. As a matter of fact, it's not necessary at all, but if you have it, you can extend through some hand traps. Terraforming, on the other hand, is really just here to take up space and to kind of water down the number of equip spells I play, because it really doesn't serve you too much purpose to search for the Empowerment. You either see it or you don't. So I almost always side out Terraforming going into my 2nd and 3rd games, but just as something to put in, I put in Terraformings. Next, I'm playing a whole bunch of equip spells because I'm playing a Sold, obviously, and my main target is a level 4 warrior. So I'm playing 2 copies of Cursed Bamboo Sword, 1 copy of Broken Bamboo Sword, 1 Horn of the Unicorn, 1 Living Fossil, and then finally 1 Moon Mirror Shield. So I have 5 unique names and 6 of them in total. You have to play 5 again because you want to summon a level 4. And I'm playing 6 in total because the Cursed Bamboos facilitate another draw engine. The Bamboo draw engine is absolutely insane. This deck has so much draw power. So these lineup of equip spells, I would think, help me brick the least. You know, Living Fossil can be an extender, and then Horn of the Unicorn and Moon Mirror Shield can put themselves back in the deck, and then these search for a draw engine. So I like this lineup. It helps me brick the least. Next, I'm playing 2 copies of Golden Bamboo Sword and 2 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. So the only target for the Foolish Goods is the Cursed Bamboo, because when this is sent to the grave, you can search for the Golden Bamboo, or you can search for the Broken Bamboo if you already have the Golden Bamboo, and you start drawing cards off of that. So like 2 and 2 of these again, they're not super necessary to facilitate any combos, but just having more draw power is never a bad thing. Next, I'm playing some one-of spells. First of all, of course, I'm playing Rhoda. Any deck that's warrior-based better be playing Rhoda, otherwise it's not going to be consistent. I'm playing 1 copy of Monster Reborn. It's the best extender in the deck, easily. And finally, 1 Soul Charge. This card needs to go away. This card is so good. If you have any amount of Hanzos in your graveyard, this is going to make sure that you finish your number 86 combo. So, then lastly for spells, I'm playing 3 copies of Called by the Grave. Really happy this card came back to 3. It really never should have went to 2 in the first place, but if you're playing any sort of combo-based deck, you better be maxing out on this. It's super, super important, especially if you brick. This is a really good defensive card. So 3 Called by the Grave. For trap cards, I'm playing 3 copies of Shade Brigandine. This card is nuts. It serves 2 purposes in this deck. First of all, it's a level 4 warrior extender. Second of all, if you have multiples of these in your hand and you have Upstart Golden Ninja, you can summon 1 and then use the other one as a discard for the Upstart Golden Ninja, and then you're in a really good position. The last card I play in the deck is 1 copy of Ninjutsu Art of Shadow Sealing. This card is searchable with Hanzo, and that's its main purpose, is that it's a searchable trap that you can discard with Upstart Golden. However, this card can be sneaky good in the certain circumstances. So the way it works is you tribute a ninja, and it's not once per turn, so you can use its effect multiple times in a turn. You tribute a ninja, then you banish a monster on your opponent's side of the field. and whatever zone that you banish that monster from cannot be used again. So you can use this on a monster in the extra monster zone, and then your opponent can't use the extra monster zone to summon from the extra deck. They can go to the other extra monster zone, and then you can use this effect again, and now they're locked out of the extra deck. And what's really good about this card is that when the monster comes back, it's supposed to go to the same zone it was in when it left, but as we know, monsters cannot be returned to the extra monster zone unless they come from the extra deck. So this card, using against a monster in the extra monster zone, just gets rid of it. Whenever this leaves the field, they come back, they go to the graveyard. So this card can be useful in certain circumstances, but again, it's just a searchable trap that you can use for Upstart Golden. That's it for the main deck. It's 45 cards. The reason I'm playing that many cards is to water down the chances that I draw an equip spell. I still draw equip spells all the time though, so I think eventually I'll be bumping that number up to closer to 50, but for now, 45 works good enough. For the extra deck, I'm playing one copy of Isolde. Isolde is the best monster in the entire extra deck, other than number 86. The way this deck works, you have to use both effects of Isolde. Your first time you're using the effect on summon, you're going to search for one of the pendulum scales, because you can still activate that card as a pendulum scale. You just can't summon it as a monster. And then again, you're going to send 4 equip spells, summon a level 4, either Upstart Golden or Hanzo, and you'll be comboing off from there. Isolde is really, really good. Next, I play one copy of Ninja Grandmaster Saizo. I go into Saizo sometimes, not a whole lot. The only thing he really does is he sets a ninjutsu art card directly from the deck, and that'll just help you draw cards usually. So, one copy of Saizo. One copy of Summon Sorceress. Really happy this card is a lot more easily available to people. This card is insane. If you have a so-so hand, Summon Sorceress is going to make it a really good hand. And that's an amazing thing for a deck like this, which is really combo based and very fragile. One copy of Underclock Taker, just as something to clear out monster zones so I can go into more stuff. And one copy of Deco Talker, just for the attack boost and some of the defensive capabilities of it. Next, I'm playing one copy of number 86, Heroic Champion Rhongomyniad, Rhongo Bongo, as we all have come to know him as. This is the win condition of the deck. Generally, you're only making this with 4 materials, so there is a small chance that if your opponent has the ability to summon on your turn, that your opponent is going to live the next turn. But in general, making this with 4 materials is enough, and cards like Summon Sorceress pretty much ensure that you can make this with 5, if you really have to. Love this card. It's the freest win when you make it. Next, I'm playing one copy of Abyss Dweller. This is plan B to number 86. If you can't go into Rhongo, making Dweller is like the next best thing. I mean, they're drastically different in what they do, but if you can at least end on a Dweller and some back row, then that's pretty good. One copy of Castell. This is just to get rid of problematic cards. Still probably one of the best rank 4s ever made. Really good in the Thunder Dragon matchup because, you can't destroy their monsters. They're just going to protect themselves. So returning them to the deck is really good. Also for the Thunder Dragon matchup, I play one Silent Honor Arc. Stealing their monsters is really good. And then you can protect the Silent Honor Arc by detaching a material. It's really, really cool. One copy of Tornado Dragon for back row. This deck will lose to back row if you're going second, so Tornado Dragon is really important. One copy of Cowboy, just, burn for game when you're going into time. I was actually playing with this deck in a regional, and I had a broken hand. And before I went off with my full combo, the first thing I did was make Cowboy, and then I went into Isolde, and then I made number 86. Time ran out. My opponent couldn't summon, obviously, and I had more life points than them at the end. So, Cowboy's really, really good. One copy of Heroic Champion Excalibur. This takes 2 warrior monsters to make, and then you detach 2 materials. His attack becomes 4,000 until the next end phase. So that's really, really cool. Just a big, beefy monster to help you OTK. And one copy of Blade Armor Ninja. So this is actually what facilitates the OTK after you make number 86 with 4 materials is that you make this on the next turn, and you can attack twice with this, and you can boost this attack with the pendulum scales. So you're going to have enough damage to attack per game just with this card. And then lastly, the Utopia package, just for when you need it. It comes up all the time. So that is the entire deck profile. I really hope you enjoyed it. This deck, in my opinion, is a lot of fun to play. I mean, ninjas are just flat out cool. A lot of the artwork on these cards is just cool to look at. So even if you're in a situation where you have a super brick hand, at least you get to look at some cool looking cards in your hand. But realistically, this deck is pretty consistent, and it's very fulfilling to pull off a full number 86 combo against your opponent, especially with this deck, because you will blindside them, because people are really only going to expect number 86 coming from something like Dark Warrior. So to do it with this is really fulfilling. That's all I have. I hope you enjoyed it once again, and see you later.